We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Oh, hello everybody. How are you doing? Let me make sure I got sound here. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. All right, we're gonna go back to the clown show that we're watching right now. So came back. I was out with the dogs. I came back because I heard that there will be.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
please
Going
welcome
live. Going
Iron
live.
Workers Local 17 retiree Bill DeVito.
Don't worry, guys. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. What does this even mean? Why is this an issue now?
They say they want us to be really upbeat.
I
would
they're
like
using Trump signs.
anyone to come to an Ironworkers Local 17 meeting. Talk about upbeat. It's more than that. I'll guarantee it.
This little
Good afternoon.
sign language person over here drives me nuts.
My name's Bill DeVito. I'm a retired ironworker out of Local 17, Cleveland, Ohio. I'll get some flack for this one. I joined the Ironworkers in 1973 and worked in the trade for nearly 40 years.
There are 529
Been retired
people
from about
throughout the
20
entire world watching this. Zero
about that.
are sign language fluent.
At that time, our pension plan was in trouble in 1912. Things were having problems. Local 17 funds were barely surviving the last recession. And just like a lot of people, we were struggling. Our pension plan was failing, and if we didn't take action, funds would be expected to run dry within the next handful of years. Members of Local 17 came together and made some very tough decisions.
Oh, okay.
And we voted to take significant cuts to our monthly benefits. This was
I can't believe anybody voted for that.
in
White
order to
Rabbit!
prolong the life of the plan. No one expected the cuts to be 20 to 40%. This was devastating.
Wow. Wow.
Anybody that was married with kids, trying to help out college. Retirement dreams gone. But we could save the plan, not just for ourselves, but for the younger ironworkers coming up behind us. We took the cut. So that's what we did.
Why are you worried about
We
people
kept
behind
the
you? They
fund
might just
afloat,
quit.
But we sank the retirement plan. And that will, with so many of our
you know what
union
you're
brothers
talking
and
about,
sisters
dude?
had dreamed about, our retirement. But we never stopped fighting. So with the lives disrupted, we needed to pass the Butch-Lewis Act
What?
and to restore the retirement of the hardworking people like me, even when people said it was impossible. We never gave up hope.
Did they give him Biden's speech?
And neither did the friends like Sherrod Brown, Marcy Kaptur, Marty Walsh, Joe Biden.
How many people are there?
I just about shook their hands off when they were back there. And we won against all odds. We won a president and a Congress that believes in keeping promises to working people.
Oh, yeah? Well, then, what's that plan with working people? Who do you work for? Because I'm never
As
buying your product
president,
again.
Joe Biden has done more for unions than any president
Done
that
anything
I
with
can
unions?
recall.
There's nothing to
I've
buy.
been
There's
around a long
nothing.
time.
They're not
Just
producing
listen to
anything. What a crock of crap.
Workers like me and unions like Ironworkers Local 17 have been promised quite a bit over the years, but no other administration has done anything to help our pension funds, regardless of any promises that they've made. The American Rescue Act is important for working families, just like mine. Here in Cleveland and across the country,
What is the world
we
coming
work hard
to?
for every dollar we earn. But some days it feels like the odds are stacked against us. Even in retirement, we hear about banks, big corporations getting huge tax cuts and breaks, or collecting a bailout when they get into any kind of trouble. But the blue-collar guy, like me, people in this room,
Really?
we don't get breaks like that.
This guy's blue collar.
It's
being
pretty
a union rep,
incredible.
I think that's a misnomer.
That it's not something
I think it's a misnomer.
you heard about such a happy ending. with
Happy
the-
ending!
with the act that had been passed. I am a recipient of the ARPA support for multi-employer pension plans.
Dwight Zombie, glad to see
I
you
may
here,
be
bud.
the front man here.
Glad to see
today,
you here.
But so many people, our president,
Cool Frog has it
Joe
right.
Biden, Senator
I read that
Sherrod
as
Brown,
big streaming.
Representative
Streaming.
Marcy Kaptur. They're the force behind.
Appreciate you guys being here. I really do.
Thank you, thank you. And the hardworking men and women of the American labor movement have worked for so many
There
years.
is no energy in this room.
They are the real heroes.
This is. I mean, this
And
guy
now
is.
it's my great honor to
has to
introduce
read
the
that.
man who made this
He has
day
to read that.
possible.
He has to read that.
Many politicians promised, dangled,
gosh.
and delayed
Oh my
pension
gosh.
rescue. Joe Biden delivered.
Hey, Cool Frog. You and Shirts, I did a show about the difference about what pension is. Most people don't realize it.
Life-changing
Let's
aid.
go, Brandon.
So many people like me. Please welcome to the stage, true friend
Okay,
of
this-
labor.
hopefully this will be
Let's
funny.
hear it, Cleveland. Joe Biden.
The guy had to look back down and see if he was in Cleveland. You see that? That's the small. Oh wait, where's Joe? Where's Joe? I expect him to come running out. Think he'll come out on BMX? He'll do like some. Oh my gosh, they gotta play. It's funny. Trump never came out to the presidential song. You know why they do that? So they have a band and they're filling up extra seats. Our Secret Service has to do their thing. Oh wait, there he is. I thought somebody was holding him by the arm. Oh, if he falls off the stage, I'm gonna lose it. Oh my gosh.
Hello, Cleveland.
You got a whole podium, dude. You have a whole podium right there. Hold on to the podium. Oh, he's walking around. He's going to fall off the stage. There's no microphone. The mic is not on.
Orchestra, thank you very much.
Gosh, this is the ugliest person I've ever seen in my
Start
life.
off by saying I'd get in trouble with my mother were she here if I didn't say it. Excuse my back when I'm speaking. I apologize.
He is lost. Did this volume just go way down? There it goes. I have not touched anything. That's not me.
Before I begin, though, I want to make one serious comment about the shooting in.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Walker. The Justice Department and Civil Rights Division of the FBI field office in Akron, Ohio, and the local U.S. Attorney's Office are closely monitoring and reviewing what happened.
Yeah, we did that already.
FBI continues to coordinate with state and local partners to provide resources and specialized skill. If the evidence reveals potential violations of federal criminal statutes,
What?
the Justice Department will take the appropriate action. And I just want you to know what's going to happen. Now for today's program. Thank you, Bill, for that introduction and for the welcome on behalf of the Iron Workers Local
Dude,
17 here
the
in
whole-
Cleveland. Iron Workers are with me the first time I ran. 29-year-old
The
kid
Jalen
from
Walker
Denver.
thing,
You're all crazy.
they're saying that now it's police brutality to shoot him 60 times. You gotta make him stop running.
Some of the guys and women. We went out to a built construction site. We went up a makeshift elevator. We went up 13 floors. They're sitting on
A makeshift elevator?
For lunch. I'm thinking to myself, my God, these guys are supporting me.
Did he say a makeshift elevator?
Up with. You know, the people you heard speak
Oh, look, they
earlier
fixed the
today,
sound.
and I
Third time they've
apologize
had to change the
for
sound.
Some of what they said. But you know, we all come from the neighborhood. We all come from, no, I mean it.
Yeah, we all come from a neighborhood.
I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which was a union town, mostly coal mine union town, a lot more. My great-grandfather was a
I just added that
worked in the
volume.
mines, was a mining engineer, and everybody there was only one word you heard most often in my family. Not a joke. Most important word. It wasn't unions, it was dignity.
Oh my
Dignity.
gosh.
Everyone's entitled to be treated with dignity.
Is
My
that
dad-
what,
Then we moved to a little town. When
Hunter
Cole
does
died,
that?
we moved to a town called Claymont, Delaware.
Do you think
just
Hunter
across the line
dignifies his
in
prostitutes?
Pennsylvania, where the Delaware River bends. And you know, used to have over 6,000
Canadian
6,000
geese.
steel workers. We're steel.
Oh.
It's all gone now. All of it gone. Used to be a company town, literally. The hills were all company stores, company buildings, but it's gone. And the union movement began to just crumble in Delaware and in Claymont. And my dad never belonged to a union, but I say this to the front end. My dad was a salesperson, and he came down from Scranton when Cole died. He wasn't a coal miner, but he worked in sales up there. And I'll never forget, we lived in a 3-bedroom split-level home, like a lot of suburban areas developing
This
in
is
the
all you can
early
remember.
50s, mid-50s. And there were, I think, 38, 40 homes. And we had 4 kids in the family and a grandpa living with us, and mom and dad. And the walls were thin. And my dad, one night I could tell he was really restless. I could hear him and sort of not banging, but leaning up against the wall, the room in my room. Next morning, I asked my dad had an expression. He said, "Joey, you never complain and never explain. Just get up. Just get up." And I was wondering what was wrong. And I asked my mom. She said, "The company says no pensions. No pensions." And so, you know, a lot of you come from families like mine. A lot of people stood behind me. Richie Neal from the state of Massachusetts. He is, as my uncle would say, Richie is... He is union from belt buckle to shoe sole, man. And but all the folks you heard speak today care about it because we know what it's like to be deprived of your dignity. We know what it's like to have a father or a mother have to put their head down when they know they can't afford a thing for their kid that they need, whether it's a prescription or whether it's just plain being able to go off to school.
That's
And
funny.
the point I want to make is this.
I mean, this gotta
We
be
all
great.
understand this.
I'm
And
selling
when
you
I ran
Quaker
for
Oats.
office this time, and I've been a union supporter for my whole career. But I made a promise. I mean it sincerely, and Marty knows this. I guaranteed when the Fair Labor Standards Act was passed, and back in the 30s, and Roosevelt came along, it didn't say unions are okay. It says we should encourage unions. Encourage unions. Because when unions do well, everybody does well. Everybody does well.
I don't even know
Not a
where he's
joke.
going on this.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. Not
So
a
here's
joke.
the deal. The deal was quite simple. When I ran, I was criticized for the basis upon which I ran. I said I'm running for 3 reasons.
Yeah.
1, to restore the soul of America, the decency and honor of this
Yeah, well,
country.
where the hell's that?
And 2, to rebuild the backbone of the country.
Yeah, where the
backbone
hell's
of the
that?
country are the working women and men, the middle class, and you know there's a middle class for
Yeah,
one reason.
middle class
American
did not
unions.
suffer.
That's the only reason there's a middle class. Not a joke. That's a fact.
Not a joke. That's a
Not
fact.
a joke.
Well, that's the big thing. Not a
The
joke.
middle
How many
class
times has he
does
said
well.
not a joke?
Everybody does well. People have a way up, and the wealthy still do very well. And so, folks, the third reason I ran was to unify the country, to unify it. That's been the harder part of it right now.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Tell me about it,
Because
Joe.
we've become so divided in this. But one thing we were divided on when we ran, and, you know, I want to thank Mayor Bibb for the passport into the city. But we were divided
Cities
on
don't need
the
passports.
question we're celebrating today. And, folks, how about actually having a union guy as Secretary of Labor? Isn't that something? Thank you, Marty.
Well, that tells you we're
And I know
screwed.
we have a fantastic Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Cleveland's own Marcia Fudge. She wishes she was going to be here.
Ben Carson was quite
I'm also honored to
awesome.
be here with Senator Sherrod Brown, a great champion of working folks. He really is. He really is. And thank you also for the incredible Democratic members of Congress here. Marcy Kaptur, God love you, Marcy. You are the best. She does it all, unions and foreign policy. And foreign. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. She
I'm not
really knows
joking.
more about foreign policy. She's forgotten more than most members of Congress know.
So everything's not a
And
joke.
Chantel Brown, just remember me when you're president, okay? All right? Congratulations. Look, and Richie Neal is not only a strong union supporter and been a great supporter of this legislation, but he's chairman of the most powerful committee in the United States Congress, the House Ways and Means Committee, the guys with the money, And he's led on labor issues for decades. You know, while they couldn't be here, I also want to thank Senator Tim Ryan.
Hail Vol Storm.
Future Senator Tim Ryan.
Yeah, I was actually clipping my nails.
And
I
Senator
wasn't even
Patty
thinking about it. I
Murray
didn't
of the
mute
state of
this.
Washington
Sorry.
for their incredible work on this legislation. With everyone's leadership and with
I'm
their
giving
votes,
myself
and most
a
of all,
manicure.
the unrelenting commitment of labor and all of you.
I can't get away from the
this
microphone long
historic
enough
day
to
is
go
made
get a
possible.
proper
And
manicure.
it really is historic. This was $90 billion, okay?
Dwight, you're right.
But it is small in
You're absolutely
comparison
right.
to the bailouts of businesses and major corporations and banks. And folks, I'm here today to talk about the issue that affects every single American in their retirement. People around the country wake up every day wondering whether they've saved enough to provide for themselves and their families before they stop working. Working a job that provides basic dignity, a good middle-class job you can raise a family on, a job that provides a dignified retirement and will give you peace of mind. Think of all the people, and many of you
Yeah, you know what?
went to bed at night.
Retirement's
putting your head
gone.
in the
It's
pillow
all
and saying,
gone to the
"Am I
gas
gonna
pump,
be all
dude."
right? Is my family going to be all right?
No, because I can't
Is my
afford to
wife
drive
or
to
my
go get groceries.
My husband or my child, they're going to be okay. It's a dignified retirement with your spouse or the home or your
Dignified.
community.
That's the words
You
that they
worked
use
and
for
lived
death.
for your whole
It is a
life.
dignified death.
But the reality is, for so many people,
He died with
the
dignity.
goalposts keep moving. Unfortunately, that's probably Trump calling me. If it's that, I'm not lying. I hear that sound there.
Because Trump lives in his head. Trump lives in his head.
Unfortunately,
He can't get Trump out.
this happens to people who need it most, working people in this country. A lot of politicians like to talk about how they're going to do
That's
something
hilarious.
about it.
He can't make a
Well,
speech without
I'm here
talking
today
about
to say
Trump.
We've done something about it,
What a loser.
and I've kept their promise.
No, you haven't.
I campaigned to restore the backbone of this country
You haven't done
class
it.
and
If
unions,
anybody thinks you're this backbone of the country's
because
strong,
I know
you're an
this.
idiot.
The middle class built America, and unions built the middle class of today. I'm
Oh, my
keeping the
gosh.
promise, one of the most significant achievement union workers and retirees have received in over 50 years, and that's not hyperbole. For years
True,
and years,
true.
union workers have been driving trucks from factories to stores,
Oh, yeah, that's a
bagging
great
your
one.
groceries, constructing the buildings, bridges, roads.
Remember,
we need,
NAFTA
and so
was going
much
to end
more.
the. We don't need
For
truck
ironworkers,
drivers. We need
bricklayers,
computers.
carpenters,
We need people who
laborers, plumbers,
code.
truck drivers, musicians, I might add,
Oh, musicians.
food workers, and so much more. And with each paycheck you earn, their employers put money into their pension plans. These
But
workers
it doesn't
work hard
matter with
today
inflation.
to secure retirement
With
for
runaway
tomorrow. That's what it's all
inflation,
about.
runaway gas pricing,
Now,
runaway
A lot of businesses aren't
everything.
able or willing to run their own pension
We
plan.
can't find a
In some
car.
industries,
Car
workers are
production is
employed by
down
several different employers
70%.
over the course of a year or longer. For example, we see that in transportation, construction, and entertainment. So working with a union that represents their employees, businesses in the same industry, often come together to form what's called a multi-employer union. I know
That's
you
no
know this,
joke.
but people
That's no
listening to this
joke.
on television
That's it right
may
there. That's
not
your
know
meme.
this.
You restored
Pension
poverty.
plans that
That's
serve
no joke.
11 million Americans across the country. And to make sure these pensions are managed responsibly and to protect the participating workers
No
and
idea.
retirees,
He has no
the
idea.
federal government oversees, then ensures the plans. But we've seen the risk of millions of workers face as they watch their hard-earned
But there
pensions
aren't workers.
turn into broken promises.
Yes,
We
yes.
saw it before the pandemic and the economic
No, you
crisis
did
that
not.
followed. Millions of retirees were at risk of losing
So-
their retirement security through no fault of their own, based on conditions and unrelenting attacks on unions that were taking place. 200 multi-employee pension plans for 2 to 3 million workers and retirees were going insolvent. What that means to those 2
Because
or 3
pension,
million workers,
stupid.
they face painful cuts to the benefits
It's
they
an
counted on
idiotic idea.
for
It's the idea that
dignified
workers,
security of retirement.
GM produces 100 cars a year.
We just heard
The idea is that you're
Bill
always going to be producing
Buzz
100
Light
cars a year.
worked
Now they're
30,
producing
40,
30
50
cars a
years
year
working hard
because
every
everything's down
single day,
70%.
doing
Pension
everything to
can't
provide for their
maintain.
family. Track every dollar.
It's a
for their
gamble.
Paycheck for groceries, mortgage.
How about let's cut out Social
hopefully
Security?
some
Let's
family
make Social
vacation
Security
maybe
an
one
option.
day. And knowing when it's time to retire, your pension you earned will be there. Knowing
Knowing when it's
together
time to
with Social
retire.
Security benefits, that pension will
Don't retire.
continue a good middle-class life for you in retirement. For some, just my dad.
I don't
suggests
blame
a
you,
little peace
Convictions.
of
I thought
mind.
this would be a lot more
For
fun.
folks at home,
I'm just hoping that he falls off
imagine
the
losing
stage right
50
now.
or 60% of that pension through absolutely no fault of your own. Imagine what it does financially and emotionally. What it does to your dignity. I'm also here as Davy Grubbs, retired Teamster truck driver from North Carolina, who faced nearly 70% cut in his pension. And now, also joining me today is Rita Lewis. Where are
Yeah,
you, Rita?
70% cut because of 70%
Rita's
less
your
production. I don't know how these numbers are adding up.
She stepped out. I don't blame her.
Yeah, everybody steps out.
You know, she's Butch's widow. Their anniversary's coming up in a couple days. Childhood sweetheart.
Wait, his
Butch was a
widow,
ball
but their
player,
anniversary's
drafted by the
coming up.
Pittsburgh Pirates out of high school. But he enlisted in the United States Army instead. Special Forces, Army Ranger, served in Vietnam.
Awesome.
Earned, like my son, the Bronze Star. My son did not earn the Purple Heart, but in the Purple Heart. Came back home to Rita, settle in Cincinnati.
What did Hunter earn?
Became a trucker, represented by the Teamsters.
What's the
Then
daughter's
president of
name?
Local.
She earned a
Known as an
shower
honorable,
with daddy.
honest, and decent labor leader. Butch faced severe cuts in his pension, and he became a fierce advocate of protecting the pensions of his fellow workers. Butch died more than 6 years ago, and Rita's carried on his legacy ever since. And with Democrats in Congress, I might add, and Marty Walsh's leadership, we brought the Butch Act. We fought for the Butch-Lewis Act to protect pensions for millions of workers and retirees. As candidate for president, I argued for his passage and promised when it passed I would sign it. And that's the promise I've kept when I included the Butch-Lewis Act in the American Rescue Plan.
What's
Wow.
the American Rescue Plan? Who started that? Because somebody needs to rescue us.
Multi-employee plans will remain solvent for decades and come at least until guaranteed till 2051.
No, you
These
can't
retirees,
guarantee
those
something in the
retirees who lost their
future.
benefits will have them restored retroactively.
Oh my gosh, you can't make future guarantees.
We turn the promise broken into a promise kept.
No, you
It
haven't.
matters to workers. It matters to their families. It matters to the country. You all remember what the economy was like when I was elected, a country in a pandemic with no real plans how to get out of it, millions of people out of their jobs. Families in cars, remember, backed up for literally miles, waiting for a box of food to be put in their trunk. Just a box
Oh my
of food to be put in their
gosh.
trunk because they didn't have enough to eat.
It was
Previous
because of a
administration
pandemic
lost more jobs
that
in its
you
watch
guys
than any
politicized.
administration since Herbert Hoover. That's a fact.
You used
All
racism
based
for
on
reasons why we
failed
couldn't shut
trickle-down
down the
economics
borders
that
and
benefit
keep it
the
out of the
wealthiest
United
Americans
States.
and hit the middle class and working people the hardest. But we came in with a fundamentally different economic vision, an economy that grows from the bottom up and the middle out. It's good for everyone because when the middle class does well, the poor of a ladder up and the wealthy still do very well.
This scares
That's
me.
why
It's the first time I've ever heard
We designed the American Rescue Plan based on
them talking
based on
about the
belief
wealthy
that
doing
recovery
well.
should help all Americans prosper. A belief that building power and unions are good for workers and for
How's
the
he getting
economy.
through all this?
A plan that led to the most jobs created in the first period of a presidency than any
Oh,
time
man, I could be
in
playing
over
Fall
in
Guys
all
right
American
now.
history. And we've seen in the past how
is so
economic
lame.
crisis can leave so many Americans in tough straits for years, sometimes for the rest of their lives. Economists call it the scarring effect, the lasting bad effects of economic hardship, including folks unemployed for a long time. Remember when we started this, a lot of people were
Yep,
equally as
he
qualified.
really is
if
trying
they'd
to
been
gloat.
unemployed for 8, 10, 12 months, they wouldn't even be considered. 2 people put in an application. The person may
I
be more
wish.
qualified, been employed.
He's the house
out of-
plant,
out of
Kamal's
work
the
for
gardener.
longer. It's called the scarring effect. People not able to get back to work, period. But we changed that. And young people who faced a weak labor
Absolutely.
market, they're back. Losing a big part of your income late in life, that's a scar, though, that doesn't heal. Well, not this time.
Oh,
Long-term unemployment,
this time we're
youth
gonna put
unemployment
some
dropped at a record pace.
Neosporin on it.
Today's
It's gonna
actions,
heal.
millions of workers will have the dignified retirement they earned and they deserve.
What about that time you gave Hunter $100,000 so he could pay off his hookers?
And folks,
Did they pay taxes?
Let's
Did
be
hookers?
honest.
Did Hunter's
I'd love to
hookers
tell you
pay
everyone that-
taxes?
here that this policy that honors hard work and ensures dignified retirement was universally supported
I
regardless
would
of political
love to.
party.
I would love to. I guess
This
your
is an
cool frog
important
over there.
point, and it really matters. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Not one single Republican. This is what I'm talking about. Not one single solitary Republican
Did
voted
what?
for the Butch-Lewis Act or this legislation. And folks,
Oh yeah, boo
folks,
Republicans.
I can tell you, those of us I was in the Congress a long time, and
Oh,
people are
yeah.
still in the Congress. There's ones who wanted to, but they were afraid to.
Oh,
Afraid to. Because the Trumpers would literally take them out.
Trumpers,
Not a joke. That's how bad it's gotten.
dude.
We've
What?
got to change it. We've got to change it. In fact, when this bill was moving through Congress,
Hang on.
Republicans called these pensions, quote, rat holes. That was their phrase on the floor, Reverend. Rat holes. Who do they think they are? Who do they think you are, for God's sake?
I thought he was supposed
My
to.
predecessor had a chance
Hang
to
on, what's
act,
going
but
on
he
over here on
didn't
the
have a
right?
commitment to
See, in the
you.
background, everybody's
The
looking
courage
over
to
here.
stand up to his own party to get things done, dismissing and ignoring the forgotten people he promised to help. Remember how he's going to help working class folks? But tax cut for the wealthiest Americans. They had no trouble passing that. They passed a $2 trillion tax cut. Not
Yeah,
a
wealthy are
penny
the only
was
people
paid
paying
for.
taxes,
Increased
dude.
the debt by $2 trillion. The vast majority of people
The tax
making the
cuts were
top
so big
1%,
that companies gave
the
bonuses.
biggest corporations and their biggest cheerleaders in that $2 trillion tax cut. Again, disproportionately benefited the wealthiest Americans. Protecting a system in which, for example,
Taxes
55
disproportionately
of the
target
largest
the
Fortune
wealthiest
500
Americans.
companies in America
Not tax cuts,
pay
but
zero
taxes.
Zero. They made $40 billion. Didn't pay a single penny. The party that chose to make life more comfortable for the already comfortable disparage and oppose retirement security for working people. And now when Republicans
really?
actually do offer a plan,
Prove
they
that.
finally- I'm not joking.
I thought you said earlier you
Ask
weren't going to do
yourself this
political
question.
hyperbole.
What is a Republican platform going to this campaign?
See, here he is. Whoa, listen to
no,
him.
I'm in deadly earnest.
No, I'm serious too. Listen to
It's
him.
just a fact.
I don't know.
Well, they have a guy who is the Rick Scott from Florida who heads up the Republican campaign committee. He put out the plan. What does the plan do? It makes the tax system less fair.
Rick
by giving-
Scott,
wanting to tax
horrible
everybody
campaigner.
making under $100,000 significantly more on average, a lot more money. It actually raises taxes on those working families because he thinks you don't pay enough in taxes already. No, not a joke. I should have brought along the actual copy of the plan. We'll go online and get, no, for real. It's been published. They published it.
He should have brought it along.
They think we're freeloaders. But he's not. But he's got a problem with the tax code that allows billionaires, none at all, no problem. Billionaires in America, there's 789 or thereabouts.
That's not a
You know what
trillion.
their average federal income tax they pay? 8%.
Yeah,
Every one of you
8%
have a
of the
job pays more than
800
8%.
people pay 8%
Every
of the
single
total
one of you.
taxes.
If you're a cop, a teacher, a firefighter, a union worker, you probably pay 2 to 3 times that.
No, they pay 8%
Now, after
of the
you're shooting, you
entire
protect your
take
pension.
on taxes.
They're going after your Social Security. Now, look, I would have thought, had I not seen it on paper and heard them talk about it.
Did Hunter
making
Biden's
this up.
hookers
Not a
pay
joke.
income tax?
The big idea is to put.
Did
Social
Hunter Biden's
Security in
crack
the
dealer
shop
pay
every
income
5
tax?
years. That is, every 5 years.
They have direct
Social
connections to
Security,
this
Medicare,
guy.
and Medicaid have to be reauthorized.
He's skirting the
By
tax
this-
laws he's talking about right now.
Social Security you paid in from the day you started working. It's your other pension.
Right?
You paid in it every single paycheck. You earned it. It's your money, just like your pension. And he adds in Medicare
That's the
and Medicaid
oh
for the
my
chopping
gosh,
block
that's
every
the
5
best.
years, unless Congress
Frog, that's the
explicitly
best you've ever
votes to
come up with,
extend
bud.
those
That is
programs.
so
They
good.
go away. You know how they work the rules in the Senate. The ability to slow this up and keep that from happening is real. You know how hard it is to get anything done in Congress. Imagine what it would mean if Republicans had their way. Look, the ultra MAGA Republicans,
Yeah, us.
Congress is deciding every 5 years whether your promise of your hard-earned Medicare, Social Security would be continued or discontinued.
No,
or
no,
slashed.
they're not. Nobody
It's
is.
shameful.
Nobody's
This
doing
guy's not
that.
alone.
I mean, even the
Lindsey
mainstream
Graham of
media is
South
not
Carolina
saying this, dummy.
is talking. No, he has
Oh.
a proposal to cut Social Security. And by the way,
Yeah,
I might note
give it back to the
parenthetically,
people.
as president, the first year I was president, I cut the federal deficit by $350
You also
billion.
went ass up in
You know
Afghanistan.
how much I cut it this year? Cut this year. By the end of September, I will have cut the federal budget by $1,400 billion. Cut the deficit.
Oh yeah. What's the military spending?
When they
like?
start talking about you being big spenders, there's point to that. But here's the point. Republicans are talking about privatizing Social
Experience
Security.
counts.
Privatizing Social Security. No, this is not a, I mean, you know, we used to hear this stuff and think they didn't mean it, but they've written it down. The senator from Wisconsin, Ron Johnson, promised again that if they regain power, they're going to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. What does that mean? It means that
Tell me
any
what
of
it
you who have a
means.
pre-existing condition will automatically lose insurance.
No.
Because the insurance company will be able to, right now, because of the Affordable Care Act, no one can be denied insurance because they have a
Oh
pre-existing
my
condition.
gosh, dude.
It's the only thing that- no.
politicizing healthcare.
By the way, we're talking 90 million people with pre-existing conditions gone. Gone. They tried
why
to
are we
do it
spending
about
billions
17
every day
times
to,
under Trump. We're able to stop them. But
Where is
folks,
that
this
place
is a
called?
different world. I don't know where they live.
Yugoslavia.
No, I'm not joking. That's why elections have consequences.
Oh my gosh.
That's why they matter. And that's why what we're doing here is so important. Let me close.
None
with
of this is true. None of
We
this you
made
can back
incredible
up.
progress on the economy.
Saying no
from where
joke
we
does
were a
not
year and a
make
half
it
ago.
true.
We got a long way to go because of inflation, because of I call it the Putin tax increase.
Oh, it is not.
Because of
Prove
gasoline.
it. Prove it.
All
Prove
that
it.
gain he's keeping from being able to get to the market. Now I'm fighting like hell to lower costs on things that you talk about around your kitchen table. My dad used to say,
Gasoline.
At the end of the day, it's just when you sit at that table, do you have enough money to pay for everything you need?
We can't
I'm
pay
not
for
over it. Do you have enough money to pay
gasoline.
for everything you need. Well, Republicans do nothing to obstruct our efforts to lower your gas taxes. I propose that. I've asked
18
Congress to
cents.
eliminate the
You,
federal
hey,
gas
asshole,
tax
do you know how much gas
for the
costs a
next- as long as
gallon?
this crisis goes on. Lower food prices, lower health care costs. Hopefully soon, lower your prescription drug costs.
I'm going to
By
need
the way,
prescription
you got
drugs to deal with this.
You got a Republican leader in the United States Senate. I was able to work out something with Intel. They're going to provide for over 7,000 jobs in this state out of Columbus. Making
No, you can't. Good to see you, Lance.
computer chips. Well, there's another
You're at the
bill
right
that
place.
if we get it passed, and my guys are working like hell to pass it, it'll create another $100 million in investments in Ohio.
$100 million.
Creating more jobs.
How much are you sending over to
But you know
Yugoslavia? Whatever that damn place over there Putin wants. I would give
You know what
Putin to it.
the-
Or give him to
the Republican
Putin.
leader is saying? If in fact we pass the law
Jeez,
that says
what a
Medicare
cuck.
can negotiate drug prices like they can for the military, if in fact we pass the plan
Oh yeah,
that
military
says
is all
we're
about
gonna
go
raise
join the
taxes
military
on
so you can get your
multimillionaires so they
estrogen
start paying
pills
their fair
and
share,
become a
he's gonna block the
transformer.
passage of the legislation that will provide for another $100 billion invested in this
Ukraine,
state.
Yugoslavia,
Folks,
Romania.
this is not
right. Just give it all
This
to
is not
Putin.
right.
He can have it all. If
And
he's
that's
that
why this
powerful, he
election
causes
should be so darn
gasoline to
important.
get to
The key
$6
is that we
a
just have to
gallon.
remember
Give it
who built
to
this
him. We
country.
might be getting free gas after that.
I know I remember.
I was just thinking, where are his
Tomorrow,
shirts?
I'll be awarding the highest honor that can be given to a civilian, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, to our dear friend, the late Rich Trumka, who fought so damn hard
What?
to protect for the protection of these pensions. He once said, unions, quote, "We do America's work. Unions do America's work." This 4th of July, let's remember, who is the backbone of this country?
It's not 4th of July
It's
anymore.
you, the American worker. I promised you I'd be the most pro-labor, pro-union, pro-worker president in our history, and there's another promise I'm going to be keeping as well. So let me
Pro
tell you
poo poo
something.
pants.
There's no other place I want to be than right here with the workers in this room and the workers that build America. I see you. I hear you. And I'll always have
That's
your
a Bush
back, I
line.
promise.
That's a Bush line.
God bless you, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you,
Protect
thank you.
our troops. Well, protect our troops. Where are our troops that they need protecting? He did a lot better than I expected. A lot better than I expected. I'm kind of surprised. Look, he even made it off the stage. Son of a bitch, man. He did a lot better than I expected. Okay, wait a second here, though. Georgia Guidestones? Like, this is really weird to me because how many times have I talked about Georgia Guidestones here on this channel? And people have said, what are these? What's that? And now you're telling me this happened? That is awesome. Yeah, totally. Totally. Protect our troops? Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys. Sorry to put you through that. I thought it might be exciting. Anyway, other than that, yeah, no president has to answer any questions anymore. Jeez. That's okay. He wouldn't know where he is. I don't know. I say that and then he does something like this. I think he performed very well, all things considering. How many times did he mention Trump? He attacked Trump. He attacked Trump supporters. And these are people that are just saying, hey, you know what? Get the hell out of our way. Yeah, you know what the problem is with gas tax? Let's eliminate the gas tax. It's only 18 cents a gallon. Let's not cut it for 3 months. Let's eliminate it. Then we don't ever have to worry about that again. And here's where that kicks in. That helps out small businesses, big businesses, all businesses in the oil companies because they don't have to hold that back. But I'll tell you this, there's a shocker. Oil companies, they like the gas tax. Oh, you're saying expert. Why would they like that? Why would my Exxon, my Shell, my Texaco, my Pilot like gas taxes? Because they collect so much in gas taxes. And they put all that money it goes into a savings account. And they have to pay out their taxes once a month. All right? They are allowed to draw interest on that every month. So like in Tennessee, gas taxes went up like 5 cents a gallon. When that happened, oh, yeah. I'm still only buying 1 gallon at that price. So, when the house plant watered himself, that's all. No, he actually did pretty good. For himself, I was surprised. he did much better than I thought. He can't stop thinking about Trump, though. That's the big thing. But anyway, the gas tax, it stays in like a trust or whatever it is. It's or maybe federal, might be quarterly. They draw interest on that, and it's unbelievable the amount of money. You have no idea how much money businesses make on collecting taxes. It is huge, huge numbers. So taxes help out businesses. Weird, right? Is that not the craziest thing? Your sales tax helps out businesses. So yeah, they don't want that tax lowered. Oil companies don't want that tax lowered. Now, you want to lower taxes, you need to lower it on the upper end. You know, the exploration, the drilling, the environment. I'll tell you, the biggest tax cut in America is the elimination of red tape. You eliminate red tape, and that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. I've been a proponent of this. I've been saying this for years before Trump got into office, and I was shocked at how that was Trump's economic plan. Reduce taxes, cut red tape, let the economy go. You saw it happen. I mean, it is a swarm out. They're trying to erase history. They're trying to just say that, all this stuff. I'm so tired of this. I can't handle sports ball. Like, I hate all sports now because of politics. Because they've turned that method. Somebody figured out, they're like, boy, look how rabid these fans are over a team. If we could take this same passion and get it involved in politics, we'd never lose. All we have to do is just pick a side. And that's what it is. We become that. We don't have a civil discourse. We don't have a civil society. We don't do we are not concerned about the common good. We have to always hear speeches about putting the other guy down. Unfortunately, it is weighed heavier on one side than it is on the other. But that weight will be lifted here on this channel. Thank you for listening. We're not putting up with this stuff. They did. They needed that to stop. He should be. He should be flattered. You're right. 100%, Dwight. John Smith, good seeing you, bud. Yeah, it pushes them right out of the country, right back out to them. So anyway, guys, thanks for coming by. We're not going to listen to this crap and believe it. You're not the bad guy because you're not a Democrat. You're not a bad guy. They run around, they say they want to be anarchists. Well, let's give them a taste of anarchy. Let's reduce the size of government. Anarchy is no government, so let's reduce the size of it. Let's take it all down. I'm not saying calling for a revolution and burn the place down. I'm not saying that. I'm like, let's take down the size of government. Let's take it down a few steps. We don't need all these things. Why do we still have a Bureau of Indian Affairs? There are no Indians on the plains. All right? There's so many things we don't need that are overdone. It's just, stuff can be handled. That sort of stuff can be handled in the States. Why are places that, not everything is a national emergency. Look at the way they're reacting about Roe versus Wade. Hasn't stopped anything in states where they approve of that type of moral, laissez-faire attitude. I live in a very conservative state, a very Christian-based state, very faith-based state. And we believe in the common law principle that the intentional killing of another is murder. You don't have to be here. That's the great thing about being able to cross state lines without having papers. They try to bring that into us when they did the what's that thing called? The pandemic. Yeah, modern day. Yeah, it was. It's supposed to be a distraction from, and it should be. It should be. You should be able to watch it. I remember somebody talking about, can you imagine? There's always that guy. Everybody knows that guy. You may have been that guy. You're going through a hard time. You're at a hospital, and that's always a hard time. Whatever the reason is that you're there for. It's not good. and they have awful TVs, you know, and you're flipping through, you're sitting on a waiting room. You might be the only person there. You flip through, and you catch like a ball game. If that's your bag, that's your bag. You know, you watch that, and for the next couple of hours, you forget that you're sitting in a hospital. You forget about other problems. Did you guys hear that? I think I didn't think there were supposed to be thunderstorms, but it sounds like we're being bombed. Guys, I'm going to cut off here now. Thanks for coming by. God bless America. We're all winners. We're not losers here. Don't pay attention to the haters. We're going to get over this. And just stick here with old Expert, and I'll help you through it all. We're going to feel good about everything. That may have been the Georgia Guidestones. I just heard the sound waves from. Anyway, guys, till next time, peace, y'all.